Today I'm gonna talk about what programming language to start with. So if you have never programmed before, where should you start? And I think in the end, actually it doesn't really matter. I think you should just pick something that interests you. And in the end, eventually you will learn more programming languages. So where you start exactly, it doesn't matter that much, to be honest. So for instance, if you are interested in iOS development, then start with Swift. If you're interested in Android development, start with Kotlin. Are you interested in Windows, like desktop development, to C#? Maybe you're interested in Linux web development, maybe Go or Python or something. So try to see what are you interested in, why would you want to get into programming to begin with, and from there try to select a language. And most languages today, they are so similar anyways, so when you have learned one, it's not that difficult to learn a second one. And for me, I started with PHP, if you don't count HTML, which I learned before. But after PHP, then I've studied and learned like Java, C#, C++, Python, JavaScript, Swift. I've done a lot of different programming languages, and most of the popular ones, they're object-oriented, and like with each new version, they are borrowing features from each other. So a lot is similar between them. So I think like the biggest hurdle when you're new is to learn the first programming language, but then all following ones, it's quite small steps. If you know one, then for the next one it's just basically to look up how do you do the same things, like how do I write for loops in this new language, or how do I make a class, or how do I declare a variable. All those things, like this, the same concepts exist in most languages. So, and the main ones are object-oriented, and then you have some other programming languages that are functional programming languages, and I'm very interested in those. But I think as a beginner, you should probably start with an object-oriented one, since they are by far the most popular ones. And I think if you look at the popular platforms, that's also where you would see like Java, Swift, C#, these languages that are natural to start with. They are object-oriented, so it's very likely that that's where you will start. And I would also say that many people they like to recommend JavaScript for beginners, and I don't really get why. I think it's quite a bad language, to be honest. It's old, it was, and how it was developed. It was developed during 11 days, I think, where they created the language, and since then I've added more and more features. Like in the beginning, you can only do so much during 11 days, and the problem with the web where JavaScript is used is that you don't, as a web browser, you don't want to break existing websites. So you want existing websites to continue to work, so you basically cannot remove anything from JavaScript. You can only add new things. So things that have existed for a long time in JavaScript, some features are a bit buggy and broken, and they have added new things that work better. Like I don't remember exactly, but there are like 3 or 4 different for loops, for instance, because the first one wasn't that great. So like you have multiple ways to do the same thing in JavaScript, and they have added classes, but they have a little bit different model for object-oriented programming there, with the prototype-based inheritance. So and it's not maybe as intuitive, I think, as other programming languages. So with JavaScript, it's like nice that you can do something in the web browser and be able to see something like there. But I don't know. I would try to find some other language. I think that would be maybe better to start with, and then maybe have JavaScript as a second one or later. But I think maybe like Python would be better, or Swift for iOS, Kotlin for Android. But so maybe that's the only like language I would avoid, and that's JavaScript. But other than that, I don't think it matters that much where you start. And I would like to add that the reason why it doesn't matter what language you start with. So I already said that eventually you will learn more programming languages, but the main reason why you should pick something you're interested in is that when you're new and you learn a programming language for the first time, and it's quite difficult and it will be a hurdle to get over. So if you are not interested in it, then it will be maybe more unlikely that you're gonna continue and like struggle through it and really learn it. So if it's something you're interested in, a language that interests you, and you have something in mind that you want to create, then it's much more likely that you are gonna continue and actually learn it. And then when you know one, then it's much easier to learn a second one. So that's why I think that it doesn't matter, that you should have just some interest in that language and like why you're learning it.